Hey y'all, come on into my kitchen and have a seat at my table. And when you get in your chair, hit share because sharing is caring. Don't forget to go over to YouTube and click Little Trey's Kitchen. Click, comment, subscribe, and share. Make sure you click the notification button so you know when I upload new videos. Today, we are making chicken fajita tacos. My niece in California. First, before I do that, let me say thank you to my nieces and my sister for my beautiful apron that they made me. I am ever so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My niece Jasmine is so talented. She handmade this, and so I'm so thankful. And marketing of my niece Jasmine, so we call them Jazzy and Jasmine, or Auntie Jasmine. So here we go. Chicken fajita tacos. We're gonna do that. My niece Jazzy has started doing keto of sorts, and so she asked me, Auntie Trey, is there a keto friendly meal that you can show me how to do? So this is for Jasmine, so she can do her keto friendly dieting. Now, I've done keto. I actually lost 30 pounds doing it, but I don't do keto the way everybody else does keto. So with that being said, as I'm preparing stuff and making stuff, know that this is how Trey does her keto, not how everybody else is doing it. And I'm not suggesting that you do it the way I do it. I did what works for me. And what I do is I do keto 5 days a week. 5 days a week out of 7, I do keto 5. Because I don't want the minute that I introduce a carb to my body that my body holds on to it. So 5 days I do a limited maybe 30 grams of carbs a day, and then on the weekends I may go up to maybe 60 grams or whatever carb I want that day. So we have to be mindful. There's carbs in almost everything. Keto allows you to eat meat, all kind of proteins, low carb, heavy fat, or high fat, or whatever. So you have to be careful also. If you have a heart condition or high cholesterol, be mindful that keto may not be the diet for you, but it works for me. So let's go ahead and get started. I've already started browning up some chicken over here. I'm just gonna take this, I actually did chicken tenders, and I cut them up. And you're just gonna, okay, you're probably looking at my grease and saying, Trey, what is really going on? I actually, because I'm a little different, I'm showing her how to make something that's keto and tasty. So chicken fajita tacos are not necessarily keto friendly. And I say that because you have the tortilla shell and you have the salsa and all that. And tomatoes, believe it or not, are high in carbs. It's one of the higher carb fruits that you can have. So because of that, I'm actually putting my fajita taco mixture on a salad. So I fried up some bacon. Yes, I did. Let me show you. I took some bacon and I fried up some bacon. Because to me, bacon makes everything taste better. You don't have to use bacon. If you're opting out of the bacon, then what you're just going to simply do, add a couple tablespoons of oil of your choice, olive oil, canola, vegetable, or corn, whatever you like, that's what you add in there. But I didn't want to waste the bacon grease because I'm on keto, so keto is high fat, so I wanted to make sure I incorporated that bacon grease, so that's what I'm frying this in. Now, if you want the bacon flavor but not the actual bacon, then I would say use turkey bacon and do it in the microwave. I also found this stuff called bacon seasoning. So you could always use this and sprinkle it on top of your lettuce. It's really tasty too. I'm gonna take a little bit of this chili lime seasoning, and I want to sprinkle it on my meat. Just a little bit, and I've actually added that to all of it. Even the other that I've already seasoned, already cooked up over there. And I'm doing this in batches, so that the meat doesn't sweat that it actually is cooking. Cooking this chicken may take 15 minutes in the batches because I've cut the chicken tenders into cubes, and I tried to make sure they were all the same size. And keeping them all the same size helps them all to cook at the same time. So you want to be mindful of that. As this is cooking, I also have some sliced onions and garlic paste. And I also have my bell pepper. I'm only using green bell pepper. You can use whatever color bell pepper you like. Just so happened I had green bell pepper in my refrigerator. If I had, I would have also used red. But just trying to keep from running to the store. This is what I'm using. Okay. And again, when it's you can use whatever you like when it's your time. Yellow, green, red. As a matter of fact, all the colors would be really nice and really pretty. But you do want to go ahead and cook this down. And again, I don't know how many slices of bacon I used, maybe six slices of bacon. And I probably ate 3 already. So that's probably 3 chopped up slices of bell pepper. Cooked bacon. So again, you're just going to cook this until the chicken is done. And I'm going to start taking out the pieces that are done and placing them over into my bowl for storage, just for handling. You want to make sure your chicken isn't overcooked, and you want to make sure that it's nice and still juicy. So you're cooking this just until done. Like, again, maybe 15 minutes if it's on a lower temperature. And you can always like take the spoon and cut it in half to see if it's done. You can see that it's still kind of pink in there, so I'm going to leave some of those pieces still inside. But you want to cook it just until done. All of this is going to go back into the skillet later, so you'll have some more time to actually cook. And so keep that in mind when you're cooking your chicken. Again, just until done, maybe 15 minutes. And then when you add it back into the skillet with the other things, we're going to cook it for another maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Depending on how big or how small your chicken pieces are, we'll cook it a little bit longer once we get the vegetables sauteed up as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling my meat. That was absolutely no time whatsoever because I had it up on a higher temperature to go ahead and get it done. So now that we've removed our chicken, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to add our bell pepper first. I'm sorry, I lied. Go ahead and add my, we're going to go ahead and add this onions and our garlic paste. Try to keep your garlic paste in for the last part of it. You don't want your garlic to burn, so we're going to take everything else and break up your slices of onions. And as you can see, I cut these onions into half moons. So that's what you want to do. You want to cut them up into half moons and then separate them as you're pouring them in. I like to get a nice little bit of onion up, and then you can actually pour in everything else. Okay? And that's going to start cooking and smelling good. This is a really quick, late Friday or weekday meal for your family. Really something simple and easy if you want to rush something for the weekend. And all you're going to do is just stir it around. Notice that I haven't added any seasoning to this yet. This is just the chili lime that I use. We're going to put the traditional taco flavors in here. I'm going to also go ahead and add my bell peppers. Get them in there and get them cooking until they're kind of soft. You want to, I like crunch. I always say that on my vegetables. So I'm going to keep going with this until we actually have some crunch. Keep that crunch on our vegetables as well. You're going to cook this on medium for about maybe 5 minutes or so, again, because you want to keep that crunch on your bell peppers. And when I tell you guys, I can't say it enough. The smell of onions and garlic and bell peppers cooking together. If you ever want to fool somebody, just cut up some onions and some bell pepper and some garlic. You'll have the whole neighborhood trying to figure out what it is that you're cooking. The smell of this is so good. So good. It's amazing. So now while this is going, we're going to go ahead and add our chicken right back to it. I'm just going to make a little space. And then we're going to add our, we're going to start adding. I'm not going to add all of this because I, in my infinite wisdom, used a much smaller skillet than I should have. But again, I lied. I went ahead and used it. But that's how things go in the kitchen. You realize, oh, I've made too much stuff. Y'all know that happens every time my son films me. He leans up against the oven, and he knows it talks. It's a tattletale. My oven tells when he's leaning up against it. And then he looks at it like, what did I do? Children. So what I'm going to do, I've already added my chicken back to the skillet, and I'm beginning to stir things around. Our onions are really soft at this point, and our bell peppers are softening up a little bit. While it's going, I'm going to go ahead and start adding in my chili powder and some cumin. And now, could you go ahead and buy the taco seasoning in a pack? You could, but why? Why do that when you could just buy some chili powder and some cumin? We need to keep this kind of stuff on hand anyway. So we're gonna do, I like a lot of chili powder, and I like the taste of cumin, so because it gives it that nice little smoky flavor in the back. So this is probably about a couple tablespoons of chili powder, and then I'm gonna add maybe a tablespoon of cumin, and then a little pepper because my family, we like black pepper. So we're going to add some black pepper to it. I'm not going to add some salt. I am going to add just a touch of salt. I put salt in my paste, in my garlic paste. So I'm just going to put maybe like half a teaspoon in, and then we'll taste it because the chili lime seasoning also had some salt in it. So you don't want to over salt it. You don't want your food to be salty. So now just gingerly stir this because I should have chosen a bigger pan, a bigger skillet, but I didn't. So here we are. We're going to make this work. I'm just going to be gentle or not, but it's going to get stirred. You see how the chili powder is coating all of your chicken? You want to make sure the chili powder, all the seasonings hit all of your meat and all of your vegetables. It's going to be so tasty. Now for this meal, because I'm showing my niece how to do something keto, I found that Mission has, I'm going to add a little water because it's a little dry on the bottom. So let me grab some water. I'm going to add a touch of water to it because what you don't want it to do is dry out and start burning and sticking. But what I found is that Mission has some carb-friendly or carb-balanced taco shells, street taco shells. So that's actually what I'm going to use today, so that if she still really wants a taco, that she could actually still have a taco, but at the same time knowing that you can also still get it with a taco salad. Now, you don't have to just use chicken. She's not a red meat eater, so I chose chicken today. You can do this with any kind of seafood. You can do it with fish. You can do it with shrimp. You can actually do this with some carne asada. You can do this with beef. You can, as you can tell, I did it with chicken. You can even do this with turkey if you want to just be, you know, really different with it. But chicken was the protein that I had in the house, so that's what we're using. We're gonna just keep an eye on and let it simmer. While this is going, I'm just gonna let this simmer just a little while, and I'm gonna taste it in just a second. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some. I'm gonna clean up some stuff. Put this stuff in the sink, and I'm gonna show you these carb-friendly tacos. Mission makes them. It's called Carb Balance. They are flour. But what I noticed is that they have 20 grams of carbs on the back. It has 20 grams of carbs, but the issue with the 20 grams of carbs, because that's a lot, especially if you're only allowing yourself maybe 30 carbs. But what actually happens, it's 20 carbs in 2 tortillas. So you get to eat 2 tortillas for the price of 1. So you can have 2 of these little tacos, and it says 20 grams of carbs. But the trick to knowing this, and I know this because I am type 2 diabetic, and this is what they taught me in nutrition class when I had to take it. You can actually subtract the number of fiber grams from the amount of carbs. So this actually says it has 17 grams of dietary fiber. So you subtract the 17 from the 20 and you actually get 3 grams of carbs. So for 2 of these, it's actually only 3 grams of carbs. That doesn't mean that you can go crazy on it, because you still have to have a balance. But and it has to have at least 4 grams of fiber before you can subtract the fiber from the carbs. So that's my little health tip trick for the day. Now, my family ain't gonna eat, and I did say ain't gonna eat. They are not going to eat carb balanced tacos. They're just not. So in doing this, I still brought them regular old corn tortilla shells. So, but they're street size, and so even if she wanted to eat one of these, it's 2. For 2 of these, it's 20 grams of carbs still, but the fiber isn't in them, so she can't really subtract on these. But they are street tacos. So here we go. Our meat is talking. Our fajita meat is talking. Now again, I have onions, bell pepper. I put some garlic in it, some garlic paste that I made, and we also have some chili lime seasoning and we got chili lime seasoning. We have chili powder and cumin, salt and pepper in it. I'm gonna taste it. I'm gonna give it a taste and see what it tastes like. The longer this sits, guys, the longer this sits, the better it's going to be. So keep that in mind. I just want to taste the chicken and see if the chicken is seasoned where I want it. I like it to be garlicky, and I like it to have that that chili powder cumin flavor in the back. Okay. I'm gonna add some more chili powder. It's good, don't get me wrong. I just like the taste of chili powder and cumin, so I'm gonna add more of both of those. And now my container's gone, which is neither here nor there. I can always buy more of that. And just a tad more of the cumin. Now, if you taste this and you say, well, Trey, I like the way it tastes, then it's fine. I don't really use a recipe. That's the reason why I'm guesstimating on how much I'm putting in here, because I truly believe that your food needs to taste how you want it to taste, and recipes actually is someone else's idea, someone else's thought on how your food should taste. So I'm just going to keep stirring this and get it all mixed up. The salt level was just fine. Didn't need any more salt, but I love the flavor of the bell peppers that are in it, and I probably am going to regret not getting the red and the yellow bell peppers to go inside it too, but that's another life. Okay, so this is pretty much done. So what I'm going to go ahead and do while this is continuing to simmer, I'm going to go ahead and pull my salad and show you guys what I've already gotten started. I'm gonna pull my pico that my son graciously made for us yesterday. And I'm gonna get this all started. Okay. You messing with my pan? Y'all see my son? Did his fingers go over there into that pan? Probably so. I know him. Okay, so here we go. Here's my salad. I have here, all I did was chop up some lettuce, and this is some cucumbers because that's what I like on my salad. I got this pico that my son actually made for us on yesterday. We're going to give this a stir. Now listen, I know this salsa looks a little different, and you're probably like, Trey, why does your salsa look so dark? Well, sometimes I take chances, and I had some shishito peppers that we bought from a farmer's market the other week, one week, and I saw the shishito peppers, and I was like, oh, they're getting, they're going bad, or I need to go ahead and use them. So what I did is I took a little oil in a pan, and I took the shishitos, and all I did was roast them right there on in a cast iron skillet. And again, it needs to be a cast iron skillet if you're going to do it. And then after they were brown or charred, I sprinkled some salt on top of a little kosher salt, and then we took the stems off and we chopped them up really fine, seasoned all, and then we threw it into the pico. So that's the reason why it looks like it's got some char to it. We used fresh tomatoes, and then I had some tomatoes that came from my garden. I threw them over in there too. So I forgot the cheese in the refrigerator. Hold on. But Trey, cheese don't go on tacos. Oh my gosh. Right. So if this was a typical California taco, you're absolutely right. If we were in California, you would only get the meat, the meat base, and some pico and a wedge of lime. That's what you would get. But we're in Stone Mountain, and we're in little Trey's kitchen. So Trey's gonna make her taco how she wants. She's making her salad how she wants her salad to taste and look. And I'm going to throw some bacon right here on the bottom of my salad. Yum, yum. Throw some bacon bits on the bottom of my salad, just like that. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take a scoop of this, and I'm going to add my meat to my salad. Now listen, when it comes to keto, you can have all the protein that you like. You can also have all the fats that you'd like. Hence the reason why I added some bacon, because I wanted bacon. And you can do all the vegetables, and I do say vegetables, not you have to make sure that it is a vegetable and not a carb. So people, potatoes is not a vegetable. Corn is not a vegetable. Rice is not a vegetable. They're side items, but they're not really vegetables. So now that I've done this, and now that I've added that to my plate, we're going to take some of this wonderful salsa that my son made, yay. And we're going to add that to the top just like so. Just like so. I'm not adding any dressing to this. So this is actually any of this juice that came from the squeezing of limes in here is going to become my my dressing for my taco. I mean, for my taco salad. So, and then I'm going to top it with a dollop of sour cream, because that's what I like, and I like it like that. Now, I took one of these carb street tacos and I toasted it up really, really quickly to make it a little pliable. I'm going to add just a touch because I do still want the taco. So I'm going to put some of the meat inside of my taco just like that. And I'm actually going to serve it on the side just like this. And let's just add just a little bit of pico, of the salsa to it, just like that. Oh my, oh my. Now again, oh look at that, y'all. Now, what is a girl to do? Do I use the chipotle lime or do I use my tahini? I'm gonna use my tahini, just a sprinkle, because it has that nice little lemon, lime. I don't know, it's some total goodness. I like it. So here you have it. We have chicken fajita tacos with a chicken fajita salad. Just that simple, low carb, and it looks good. You can eat this and still feel satiated and feel satisfied when you eat it. So hopefully you'll make it, and if you do, tag me in it so I can see it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification button on Little Trey's Kitchen. I'm ready to taste this. That's my issue. But I know it's gonna burn my mouth because it's really hot. And I'm ready to sit down and have my salad. Ah! You guys let me forget the cheese on my salad. Let's add this cheese really fast and we'll take another look at it. We're just gonna add just a sprinkle of cheese. I'm not gonna add all of it, but look, it's keto, so you can. You can definitely add all that cheese if you want to because it's keto. So, this is good. And you can, even if you don't make the little side taco, you can just warm up the tortillas on the side and just tear it off and eat it with your salad as if it was a crouton. Or you can put crunchy tortilla strips on it, or even some Doritos if that's what you like. Make sure you try this recipe. Tag me when you do. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Please. And I thank you so much for allowing me to show you something simple and keto friendly. Thank you again. I love you guys. Big hugs and tight squeeze. Until next time. Mm-mm.